Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanishalaakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet. In this session, we'll be discussing from the 29th verse of the 9th chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharmam pravadatas tasya sakala pratyupasthitaha yo yoginas chanda mrityor vanchitas tu uttarayanaha. The meaning of this verse is, while Bhishma Deva was describing occupational duties, the sun's course ran into the northern hemisphere. This period is desired by mystics who die at their will. So, Bhishma Deva was specially blessed to quit his body at the most auspicious time so that he could make his destination going back home, back to Godhead. So, that most auspicious time is being described in this verse as Uttara Punyakala. So, Bhishma Deva was waiting for this most auspicious time to quit his body because he had that siddhi. So, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, the perfect yogis or mystics can leave the material body at their own sweet will at a suitable time and go to a suitable planet desired by them. See, not only they are able to leave the body at an auspicious time, but also they can go to the planet they desire to go. Which means, first of all, they have full control over their senses, over their body. Body is made up of senses. They have completely controlled their senses. They have completely controlled their mind because they are able to fix their attention on the particular destination they want to go. So, this is a great science, and this science is not taught in our ordinary schools, colleges, modern day education system. This science is not at all taught. It is practically unknown even to the most so-called learned scholars of the modern education system. They do not know this. In the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada says, in the 8th chapter, it is said that self-realized souls who have exactly identified themselves with the interest of the Supreme Lord can generally leave the material body during the time of the fire god's effulgence and when the sun is in the northern horizon and thus achieve the transcendental sky. See, there is a spiritual sky beyond this material sky. Parastasmatu bhavonyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha. Paravyoma, the spiritual sky. The material sky is what we can see with these eyes and we understand. There are so many other planets in the material sky. Some are called upper planets, some are called lower planets, where the conditions of living are different than those on the earth. But beyond all these material planets, beyond this universe, beyond all the material universes, there is a spiritual sky. And in that spiritual sky, there are spiritual planets. And the spiritual sky is illuminated by the personal bodily effulgence of Krishna, It's called Brahma Jyoti, effulgence, spiritual effulgence. So there is no darkness in the spiritual world. The material world is characterized by its being always dark, and therefore there is a necessity of illumination either by sunlight or moonlight or by fire or electricity. There is a need of illumination in this material world. Otherwise, by itself, the material world is dark, a dark place. Darkness means the absence of light, because of which we cannot see in darkness. Our eyes are able to see only when there is light, illumination. In darkness, we cannot see. Secondly, darkness also means ignorance. That is a characteristic of material existence. We are always in ignorance unless we become enlightened by acquiring the proper knowledge from the perfect authority, the perfect source. So, that perfect source is the Vedic literature. The scriptures, the Vedic scriptures, is the perfect source for this knowledge which will enlighten us. Who am I? What is this world? What is beyond this material existence? What is spiritual existence? Who is God? What is my relationship? What is my identity? Everything is a subject matter of the Vedic scriptures. So, Prabhupada mentions here about achieving the transcendental sky, spiritual sky. In the Vedas, these times are considered auspicious for quitting the body, and they are taken advantage of by the expert mystics who have attained perfection in this system of yoga practice. The expert mystics, that means the yogis, Ashtanga yogis, they're called Ashtanga yogis. They practice this Ashtanga yoga. Bhishma Deva was an expert mystic yogi or Ashtanga yogi. So he had perfected the method of leaving the body at an auspicious time. So, therefore, he was waiting for that Uttara Punyakala. And Srila Prabhupada says further, perfection of yoga means attainment of such supramental states. That means the mind is completely controlled and mind is actually elevated in the thought process, thinking process, to an spiritual level where one will be able to leave the body as desired. Leave the body as desired. Yogis can also reach any planet within no time without a material vehicle. This yogic method of traveling within this universe or even beyond the universe is not a gross method that we know of ordinarily. There is no need of a vehicle, a material vehicle. Besides that, a material vehicle is useless when we are to travel to the planet Sun. Sun is full of fire. So which material vehicle will withstand that we know of now? Our modern day spacecraft and rockets and Sputniks and all these, how they can withstand the temperature of the sun? So you cannot go to the sun planet. Neither you can go in this body. So please try to understand that leaving this earth planet and going to another planet requires that we acclimatize ourselves, our body, to the conditions prevailing there. So, the yogis, they are able to leave this body, and in a suitable material body, they are able to go to the higher planets or to the spiritual world, the transcendental world, in a suitable form. So transcendental world, they can go only in a spiritual body, and upper planets also they can go in a suitable subtle body, not a gross body. The upper planets, the gross bodies are useless. One cannot even go beyond a certain range of the atmosphere of the earth. The yogis can reach the highest planetary system within a very, very short time, and this is impossible for the materialist. See, yogis means they are transcendentalists, as opposed to materialists who have no knowledge of transcendence or spirituality. Spiritually, they are zero. These modern day scientists, they are spiritually zero. So they are never able to reach the highest planetary system by any means. They cannot. They don't even know of its existence. What is Brahmaloka? Even attempting to reach the highest planet will take millions of years at a speed of millions of miles per hour, by the process that the modern day scientists talk about, traveling in outer space. It will take them millions of years at a speed of millions of miles per hour. So which means those planets are really, really, really far. They are very, very far. Astronomical distances, that's what we hear about from the scientists. They are so far away. So Srila Prabhupada says this is a different science altogether. It's a science. It's not some mythology. It's not some fiction. It's not some imaginary story. It is fact. 100% fact. And Bhishma Deva knew well how to utilize it. He had to learn from the proper source the spiritual knowledge, the spiritual techniques. Bhishma Deva knew this, and therefore he was just waiting for the suitable moment to quit his material body. And the golden opportunity arrived when he was instructing his noble grandsons, the Pandavas. Bhishma Deva, even though he could quit his body at any time he desired, he chose to quit his body at the auspicious time of Uttara Punyakala. Now, one more confidential understanding we get from the Srimad Bhagavatam is that Bhishma Deva is a pure devotee of Krishna. The Bhagavad Gita says, for a pure devotee of Krishna, there is no need to quit the body at an auspicious time only. Of course, those who are practicing Ashtanga yoga, they have to quit the body at an auspicious time in order to be able to go to the spiritual world for eternal life, full of bliss and knowledge. But those who are bhakti yogis or pure devotees, like Bhishma Deva, they don't have to quit the body at an auspicious time. They can quit any time, and their destination is always the spiritual world. They have only one destination. That is the personal abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the spiritual world. So devotees need not wait for the auspicious time. Now Bhishma Deva here, it is described, was waiting for the suitable moment so that he could instruct his grandsons as desired by Krishna. Krishna desired that Bhishma Deva instruct the Pandavas, especially Yudhishthira, who was aggrieved at the massacre that had taken place due to the battle of Kurukshetra, to enthrone Yudhishthira as the emperor of the world. So Yudhishthira's grief was mitigated by instructions given by Bhishma Deva. Also, Bhishma Deva was lying on a bed of arrows, but his mind and his intelligence was in perfect order in spite of the most uncomfortable situation in which he was lying there on the battlefield, bed of arrows. So he was detached from the physical pain, completely detached, because of his being situated in Krishna consciousness. That's a proof of Krishna consciousness. He was speaking perfectly, the perfect knowledge, to his grandsons. When they were inquiring about dharma, he spoke. The greatest authority on dharma was speaking on dharma. Yudhishthira was asking about dharma. Bhishma is the Mahajana, so he is speaking about dharma perfectly. So that is being now explained here, that Bhishma instructed the Pandavas and chose the right moment to quit the body. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.